Joey Logano.
Logano gets the victory.
Great job, Joey. Deserve it every day.
One year Santa Claus brought me a go-kart. Every day I got home from school, had to be in my go-kart, and I would just make laps in the front yard, completely destroy the yard. But I just loved it, it's what I wanted to do. I tried other sports. It wasn't the same as just getting to go racing and drive different cars. And when I was 15, Joe Gibbs Racing signed me up. So I started kind of going through a couple other levels before I got to the Sprint Cup level. Everything came really easy to me in racing. I'd go out there, boom, I'd win. But then I got to the level that everybody that was winning in the lower levels are racing against each other now. And I got to the Sprint Cup level and got destroyed, got beat every week, finishing 30th week in and week out. Like it was a struggle. And then obviously you start thinking about, man, am I gonna have a job? It really wasn't working the way I planned it out. I was just wanted to be a race car driver. That's all I wanted to do. And that's really all I cared about. What am I gonna do if this doesn't work? Started making some progress, getting a little better, and you get a top 5 every now and again. You might squeak out a win every now and again. You're like, all right, it keeps you going. And then I feel like a second chance with Team Penske. I was able to walk into there, and me as a 23-year-old with some experience behind you. Together, we all kind of got together and said, listen, we got to make this work. This is my last chance. I know that. Not very often in life do you get a second chance, but I know this is my last chance. I know what I need now, and let's build this together.
Flag green, shoving you hard.
Brings them to
Coming to the checkered and the yellow.
Daytona 500, guys!
I believe it. I don't believe it. Daytona 500 champion, son.
Freaking won the Daytona 500.
See, everyone wants to have Daytona 500 on their resume. After living through that moment and now realizing, what it means to win a race and how hard it is and what you have to do how much work you have to put into something to get a reward out of it is the most gratifying part of what we do. When I think of my life, there's racing and then there's my life, right? And racing is something that's here today, gone tomorrow, right? It's not gonna be there forever, and it's very fragile. I started realizing that there's more to this than just driving a race car. I went to Elevation with my wife Brittany, and pastor was giving a sermon about tithing and how it changes your life and all this stuff. And I'm like, and it's one of the first times I went there, and I was skeptical about it. And I went to another one, and it was the same sermon. Maybe God's trying to speak to me here. I love going there. I love hearing the message. It's a great experience. I feel like it's life-changing every time I go there, and I love sitting there taking the notes, and I put my notes on the mirror and I read my notes every morning so I remember. I get more out of going to church than anything else I do. And you start kind of living life in a different way, and you start realizing that it's not all about racing. It's just not what life's about. And then I started to see just this change in my life. But then you start seeing some different results on the racetrack and the way you treat people and the way you handle certain situations, and you start seeing this whole thing start to build. If I didn't go to church, I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I wouldn't be directly affecting someone's life. When I decided to live a life of generosity, to see it actually transform and live it just made all the difference. Living a life that I can trust God with money, finances, makes me feel like it's something that no one can ever take away from me. But living a life of generosity and seeing how I can affect someone's life, that's something that can always be there. So of course that's why I give, because I know what it's done for me, and I'd love it for it to do the same thing to somebody else.